Hey gardeners, we are designing today here at Bailey Nursery. I'm going to take you around and show you some of the plants that we have to choose from. Let's take a look at this first one. This is called Prince Calico Aster, and look at the color on this. So that will probably bloom in the fall, and of course some bright colors to work with. Barberry, red twig dogwood, flagella. And here's a Shadow Magic crepe myrtle, that dark leaf. I'm interested in seeing how tall this one gets. It says up to 9 feet tall, 7 feet wide. But look at the contrast of that dark purple and the red and that 9 bark and the chartreuse of that red twig dogwood, that neon color. And let me see if they have the tag on this one for the actual name. I don't see it. Oh, there it is. Let's get closer. Let's find it. Okay, this is called Neon Burst Dogwood. And the tiger eyes sumac behind it. I'm not sure. Let's see. Let me find out.
I've had it before. Yeah, it can get big. I think like 8 feet, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, not nearly as big as.
Yeah, it says 6 by 6. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Starting our walkthrough.
We'll do a walkthrough first, and then. You want to break them off? Or let's have everyone see everything. And then, do you want to know before we walk around what site yours is?
Before. Yes. Yes, that's a great idea.
We even have the
This is a competition, right? There's a winner, right?
Are you kidding me? Everything's a competition.
Not make it a competition.
What are you talking about? Oh, it's a competition.
I get very viciously competitive. I want to try to leave that behind.
Okay, I'll tell you your pair first, and then as we walk around, we'll point out what area you're in.
The suspense.
Because I want you to see the whole space. Okay, so Brian and Tyler, shocking you're together.
No, conspiracy. C-O-N-spiracy. C-O-N-spiracy.
Oh no! Come on.
We'll show them.
What's happening
I
here?
hope they get the shade going.
Camille, Dustin, and Shot.
Hey!
There's going to be groups in a similar area.
Sweetie
So
pie.
one is
We can't hear our groups.
Wait, no one can hear.
Matthew and Heather and Jane Kamoya. We'll show you. You'll be near each other.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect.
And Yulia and Brad.
Yeah.
That's what he wanted anyway.
Alright, should we start at the front corner?
Okay, who else is on?
3 zones on this side
Okay.
of the office. The first zone down there is under the Persian ironwood, the Perodia on that end. It's the shadiest zone in the project, and rightly has probably the smallest plant palette to work with because everything else is pretty much in sun places. They're big containers, but I mean they're not that big, all things considered. So you have a lot of the. None of these are BAPs, which is the nursery term for big ass pie. None of these are BAPs. These are little guys. But so there's one bit there, and then there's a bunch more on the southwest corner. That's right. That's right. They're just on containers. Yeah.
Who is that, Ryan?
Yeah.
Shockingly, Bethany and Aaron.
Okay.
I don't have to dig a hole.
So from where I'm standing to just past where the containers are, this we call we're calling the OG bed, Lucky Devil, Physocarpus back there along that little wall that's in front of maybe the HVAC unit. So you've got a lot of sunny perennial things. There's also a Fiji Rose of Sharon back here in the corner, little punctuation point for that bit there. And then
And that is
Who's that?
Julie and Brad.
What?
they get the front door.
What? That's my wheelhouse. That's what I do.
I was like, damn.
What in the world? CON. Conspiracy.
Challenges. Whoever gets this side has a little more like ground space to work in. So the challenge is now to figure out how to make those two things talk together. So everybody likes a conundrum. So
You
there
could
we go.
disperse the rest of
You
them.
could move those around. That's right. There's a queen bee.
So this group
Sorry.
with all the hydrangeas and the eclipse.
What a sky.
Sky, Chloe, and Nick will have this side.
Okay.
Make those things sing.
Don't put me in a shady
Good
spot.
luck.
I don't know what to do with a shady spot. What you ducking? What you ducking for?
Is chiming in Robbie.
Oh, Moya, what are they doing? What is happening right now? Don't put me in the shade, please.
You'll be able to grab more.
Oh,
Can we mix and match? Can we move things? Absolutely.
Moya, who else is on our team?
It's just me and you.
Oh, it's just us. Oh, okay.
So, hot dry berm, right at the driveway. We kept the existing gold spire ginkgos and staged out a little medley of shrub material that has ample space for coreopsis and kismet raspberry coneflowers, ryeweed.
What in the world? Oh,
Wait, we have to keep
Ryan,
walking.
he's like, I'm ready to go to work.
Thanks, Ryan. You got your ginkgo trees. I know. That's literally
I
what
saw you
Tyler's-
slip from $20 just now. I saw it.
Oh, I have to.
So wait and see. I just feel like.
So we're going to split the field house, the border around the field house into two groups. So you each have your own pantries on either side, but you can mix and match and borrow because the bed space isn't evenly divided between that side and the north side and south pantries.
So, because of her strong feelings about what happened in this bed yesterday, Jane, Kamoya, and Matthew and Heather are splitting this. So you
Okay.
can fight
I'm
over
going on
which
the
side
other
you
side
want.
where the flower flows are.
I love it.
I'm feeling good. I mean, the game is over already.
Kelly
I
did
mean,
say
it started
that
and
this is where he
ended
was
just
born.
now.
I think it'll look really good, but it's just it's not winner material.
I know where you live. You know that, right?
Lock the doors.
Okay, so we're gonna take this side and this side.
Yeah, long and a short side.
Okay.
AJ, we're gonna take here. And
This
there.
works for me. Yeah. I love a Vitex.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love those.
oh yeah.
Galactic pink on the corner.
Oh yeah.
That is actually an older variety called Delta Blues.
I love Delta Blues. I have Delta Blues. Okay, I'm okay, good. I'm good.
Most shapely characters in the garden. They're meant to kind of grow through things. So I'm really excited to see what you come up with in this particular spot. I will tell you the one thing we came in and discovered this morning is that when the sprinklers go off, this becomes a brief lake every morning. What a great idea to place roses there. But anyway, that's where they're going. So we changed the sun is for like if it gets water. So that's it.
All right, so ground rules.
Wait, what
Wait,
group
who
was
has
that?
Who has this one?
Most important.
Yes.
We're so unclear.
Millie doesn't know.
Oh my God!
Knew it.
Yes, yes.
You have the late.
That's last. And last but not least,
In I don't know,
Start your engines.
like a half hour and see how
Where the
y'all are
tools?
doing.
half an hour.
Well, let's lay it out. We're laying it out.
That's only gonna take us like 15 minutes.
Let's talk about what we've already set up so far. Just a little quick
Okay, so
run through
so
what we're
far,
thinking.
They already had some stuff laid out,
Yeah.
and we have different tastes. You know, Jay and I have different tastes
Yeah.
as far as the individuals who laid out the plans. So we're saying grasses look good around structural pieces like rocks. So far we put the grasses around the rocks with some flowerfuls because they bloom creamy white against this red building.
Yeah.
Of course, we're going to move them back because they're too close.
Right.
So repeating the same thing. Flowerful, a flowerful.
Okay.
We took one of those arborvitaes, the golden arborvitae from there.
Okay.
We put it down here to balance
Oh
out the
yeah,
side.
that'd be good.
And
That'd be
then
good.
the Vitex here, which has been there for a few years, we took one of those to put up there to kind of balance each corner to anchor the space, right?
Yep.
And then we're just going to fill in with perennials, mass plant, and
Okay.
just play around and see how it looks.
Cool.
Nothing is finalized until they're going around.
Right. And this front area, I think we could go heavy perennials.
So we can do
I
the
think we
red
could do
echinaceas.
heavy perennials in this bed.
We can do the red instead
Yeah.
of the silver because those are silver.
Yeah.
And
And
if
just
we're feeling very, flashy, we can use this
that's a
red, blue, and
purple.
silver
Oh, I love
looks
that.
good. This is purple.
Oh, they have. Oh,
With this,
these two.
right?
Yes, yes.
Perfect, right?
Oh, if we fill this up with
Yes.
those two.
So we put these on
Yeah.
this side. In
Yeah.
between, because they get pretty tall.
Yep.
And then we put these all in the front.
Yep.
Oh, up and down. What do
Yep.
you think?
Like
Yeah, yeah.
just deck it out.
So yeah,
Okay,
that's
cool.
the plan.
That's our plan. We're getting to it.
All right, so we have 5 right here.
Yeah.
So maybe we should switch out that yellow and put another 5 right
Okay,
here.
I'm with it. We're doing our last minute touches on our bed.
From plants we stole.
This is careful. They were unused. We're doing this for the environment. We don't want those plants to go to waste. All right, so not bad. Let's go get a beverage and we'll take a walk later. Smells amazing. Yeah. Wow. Oh man. Thank you for preparing the food for us.
Oh, such a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
sure.
Where are you coming in from?
South Carolina.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm. Have you been there?
Long time ago. Tobacco and dig it all.
You know, people have been gardening for ages without augers. People have gardened for ages without augers.
That's right. Somewhere.
All right. So,
Lovely.
Like, the old college instructor in me wants to talk about what did you learn, and so here's what we're gonna do. There's 3 questions. What did you learn? What do you want us to know about what you did? Because that's what's, as a designer, what's most interesting to me is what your logic was. Why did you do what you do? And then, if you had 3 more days and an unlimited budget, what would you do differently? That's your fantasy question. So
Love it.
3 questions.
What you'll see is we went with the really dark eclipse foliage and had a beautiful little shiny river with the crepe myrtle transitioning more into Sky's personality and then finishing off again with the dark. Here, yarrow I love because it's a grass alternative, and for the front here you could just mow it down and have it be a ground cover.
Interesting shaped bed.
Yes, right.
Everyone
There we
else
go.
has a nice circle or a nice rectangle or even an L shape. We actually drew a line with the other previous.
So we tried to tie our color palette into their garden a little bit.
Because if you're standing where Marcus is, this is our corner, but you see this way, and we can't just chop off here. So in order to tie it, we used the Kismet raspberry coneflower to pull that raspberry darkness into here, and then
Black-eyed, yellow-eyed.
green-eyed
lady.
black-eyed Susan.
So we have a ton of them there. Big red.
Black-eyed, yellow
They're
eyed.
yellow flowers with green eyes.
There's every space has clear design logic. It's clear that everybody went in and said, here's a thing, here's a problem, here's a vibe or whatever, and we're going to address this and do this. So I love that, because oftentimes there's a lot about design is emotional, and emotions are irrational, and that's fine and that's great, but that's art. There's a point at which there's a difference between design and art, and I'm actually more of an artist than I am a designer in the grand scheme of things. So, but that sense of you have very fixed spaces that are very strange and weird, have to are a constraint on what you can ultimately do done differently.
wrong, we'd rip this guy out.
We had an unlimited
No, that's
budget.
great. That's great. It's like the hell with that shit.
Put a greenhouse. A glass greenhouse.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Would you keep the doghouse too? No, it's all gone.
This whole thing, we wanted to unify this whole little patio here, and so chartreuse is always for me one of those colors that, like, if you want to bring a whole garden together, chartreuse will do that in a way because your eye just goes immediately to chartreuse, right? So bing, 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 bing. And so we wanted to add the chartreuse to everything.
This kind of ties into one of the things that we learned, but designing a container without annuals and trying to find differing textures and different colors was very difficult. And one of the things that helped when we switched those out for these is we could start pairing the darker colored green with, I like that one, thank you.
Yeah.
Because it was getting too, it just looked like one giant blob of plants.
We're gonna be watering this all the time.
All day long.
Yeah. Yeah. You're gonna be watering some more.
But forget that for
But
a
as
moment.
long as you know that going into
Sure.
it.
Yeah.
The scale, though, is interesting.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if the pot was 20% bigger, I'm down. Like,
Right.
That's
right. You're good. So you're thinking it's way too much.
It's no. I mean, I think that
Yeah.
it's the pot's undersized for the size of that shrub.
Okay.
The idea is kind
Yeah.
of fabulous.
Yeah.
Just like in 2 weeks when the something got started.
Can we start with the stolen Gara?
Yeah. Can we start? Everyone come around this way. Around. Everybody has to want you to be inside.
They told me there was pie. I haven't seen the pie.
Just filled in with echinacea and all sorts of native varieties to create that beautiful meadow. And you can see
So what'd you learn?
that we're in the front, so when it goes taller, it blocks all of their gardens, and you just focus on ours.
Zoom on that foolishness. Zoom in on that.
All these angles. And once those white diamonds sort of, give us some mass in the middle. I mean, we got, there's a little armature there that, and I love the Solidago sugar. There's really competition going on because there's 2 zones here at the field house. So
We got the sunny side.
tell us about the sunny side.
Sure. So we were thinking in terms of layers.
The ladybug that you did here.
Oh, it's all right. It's good luck. Okay. So I plant very tight, and I think in terms of planting like commas. So I'm planting like swooping shapes, and then I'm coming in and filling in that. So we had several different types of flower shapes in there. So I think that carried it.
Matthew, photo quick.
I love you.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so one of the things that came to mind was when a car or people come around this corner, we want to hit them with a burst of color
Like,
and
bam.
interest. Yeah, like here you are in Moya and Janice's garden, Jay's garden. So we started with the roses to give that pop of color up against that chartreuse shrub there. The arborvitae, I think that is. The other thing we had was the vitex at the end there. That's already in place, so we added another. This is it's a pink flowering galacticate.
Just like the one down there. Just
And
to
it can
balance
get
out the
large.
color.
So we wanted to anchor this corner with the vitex as well, just for some continuity here. And then we just continued, because we have that open space. You want to talk about this area?
It's long, but it's not pretty deep. So we added some grass for height and movement in between. We placed all the shrubs first, and the hydrangeas, of course, and then we went back in with the grass in the empty spaces. And then in between the shrubs, we just popped in small perennials here and there, in clumps. Because it's not too deep, but it's pretty long, we wanted to give you something to really talk about, as you're doing right now in your mind. So yeah, we don't really have much space.
Yeah.
And we're also playing with the color of this thing right here. If there wasn't any money in the budget to change it, the color palette would still work. The chartreuse, creamy blues, the burgundy of that, the pink of that. It's just like a pink, cream, purple-ish bed.
Which hydrangea is that?
That's
Which one do you think?
Flowerful.
Oh, there we go.
Settle down, one.
Isn't it obvious? I love it.
It's flowerful. Yeah.
All right, what
And
did
if
you
you work
learn?
your way down, we're not done.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Not want to rush you.
One of the things is we love the fact that we have doors, right? So you can separate each bed by itself. This is an area by itself. We could have put 2 containers, or Aaron could have been generous and gave us 2 containers right here. And then we had the rock, and Jay was like, just put some grass around the rocks.
Right, right.
I love the look of grass. And then we put some in the back, and then another hydrangea here and there, just to give you something to look at when you're going through that door. And just repeat the same perennials down the way.
And we talked about, this goes into one of the questions you asked about, was it challenges or?
Yep.
Okay, so Moya is really good about setting plants in place, having a nice rhythm. And I like a little wildness, a little asymmetry going on. So we talked about that a little bit. So in this bed, you get that asymmetry because of the rock for one, and just to have, you know, we like clumps, we like drifts, but let's not keep it all the same. So that's what we did. Even coming down here, we still have nice patterns going on, but we had sections that had some other things interesting popping up. And we'll swoop around the corner real quick to finish off. Do you want to add anything to that? Okay.
The roses really pop.
I know, right? I get the short truth.
But we wanted to go heavy perennials in this area because we had lots of perennials. We did.
So initially we had these shrubs over here. So we took them out. We weren't.
Yeah, we rescued some other shrubs.
386.
Yeah, so it was like, let's just go with the 9 mark instead. Yeah, because we were playing off the colors. So you have the purple with the blue from the salvia. And then we have the yellows and reds in here that play well together. Repeated the grass around the rocks.
And one thing I love is leadress. So we have the leadress that's going to spike up in front of the salvia, and you'll have your echinacea spilling across the front. The Procospia?
Yeah,
that will pop up there as well.
When you have a very slender space, it's best to just do like a big drift of one thing in a way to kind of grab your attention. Jay and I don't have the same eye, but we know the end goal is to use everybody out here, so we work together.
You did it. You did it.
Done.
Synthesis. And what would you have done differently given unlimited time in Belgium?
Well, for me, I will rip this down.
Ties with Heather and Matthew.
So here it is. She's ripping it down. She's like, I like
Yeah.
this so rusty.
I would do a covered pergola with a fireplace, a chandelier.
I don't want a chandelier. I don't want a chandelier.
I love it.
I need it.
I like this building.
And I'll take up some of this driveway and extend it as you can keep working. You can definitely. Right.
Yay! Feel that
You know, more is more. I like more is more. I'm a maximalist. Me too. I don't believe in minimal anything. So given permission to just go all the way was lovely.
And yet what's interesting about ostinato is that like that idea of like repetition and consistency kind of has this almost universal application.
What I like to do in the landscape is do very informal drifts instead of the stiff kind of, here's your 5 blob of 5 plants. Instead you can do 5 and maybe do like a 1 castaway. That's very informal to soften everything up. I love working in teams. I usually work all by myself.
How sweet you are.
It was.
Yay.
It was nice to hear someone else's perspective.
Deliberating.
I'm saying.
There's this reason that you're filming.
Because
Do you think something's going to happen here?
I mean, you know.
This was just going to be fun and games.
It is never fun again.
And then you all decided it was going to be a competition. So, as a good millennial, everyone will get a prize. Don't worry.
Who gets eliminated?
There is a prize for first place. Everyone will get like a sneak peek plant.
Okay.
But the winners will get a trip from us to join us in New York for our consumer pop-up activation. Because all of them were
I'm already in New York, so I get to come anyway.
We truly did
In the winter
went
circle.
Okay.
into talk about it and spend all of that time because all of them were really amazing. So Kelly is going to describe what he loved most about
Kelly.
Put it on Kelly.
Oh,
don't think this is in my contract for this, but anyway, here's what I will say. In the spirit of, regardless of being a good millennial or not, the thing I love about doing events like this, we do a lot of creative and ask questions and be curious and be a little frustrated and go through the crunchy middle to come out the other side thinking like, oh, this is what I did, but I would have learned something different. So I love, thanks, from me to you, thank you for getting to share that with me this afternoon, because that was special. So when it was clear that it was suddenly like I was judging a competition, didn't sign up for, but love to give some thoughts. So I walked around with my notebook, and I made several trips. So I watched you all sort of in progress, and I liked watching some people start with an idea and then go a little different direction. But there were 2 zones, so I guess that means there's a tie. Oh. Yeah. Our chances are high, guys.
More friends in New York.
I'm like being decisive, but I mean, there were two zones that clearly started with an idea and just kept going with it. And there was something about each of those. They were neighborly in that sense, and so they had to work together to kind of tie those 2 zones into a synthesis. And so I love the plans. I love the thinking about how the vignettes came together. I loved just the sort of diligence to like carry something through. So Kamoya and Shay. Those are our tiebreakers. Cheers to you.
And this whole time I'm thinking it's
What
either
the
the
world?
worm or Claudia.
They trying to call that out. It was just really
What?
Why did you think it was going to be the burn?
I don't know.
Moya and Shay.
Wow! Congratulations!
Those are our tiebreakers. Cheers to you.
We were gonna go anyway, but
I've never, no, straight up, I've never been to New York. I've never been there, so.
we won. Even though, from the start we said we were gonna beat them anyway, right?
We did say that. But we gotta go big.
Or go home, right? But we're not going home. We're going to New York.